Hey everyone, so in this video we're going to be talking about grade non-disclosure, what it is and why it should be important for you. Now, for those of you who are already attending a top-level MBA program at certain schools or have aspirations of attaining an MBA from certain schools who might have this policy in place, this is going to be something particularly important for you. So for those of you who've never heard of it before, grade non-disclosure is a policy that's put into place by certain top-level MBA programs that discourages potential employers from asking students what their grades were like at the MBA level. This also discourages students from proactively providing a numerical value associated to how well they performed in their MBA program as well. Now, if this is the first time you're hearing something like this, you probably think it's completely ludicrous, illogical, irrational. Like, what possibly could come out of this? Why would anyone want to do this? And why are the most prestigious programs in the world actually implementing some of these policies? Well, the answer is actually quite simple. Some of the top programs in the world will attract students from a variety of different industries and different backgrounds as well. And so, for this reason, the MBA in particular is a great resource for people who are looking to make a career switch with the experience and background they already have and with the education that they can get at the MBA level. However, some of these students might be discouraged from taking courses outside of their core competencies if they feel like it could have a detrimental impact on their GPA. So, to give you an example, if somebody has a background in communications and their work experience is in marketing, and they would like to transition into finance, they might be taking the exact same finance courses as somebody with an undergraduate degree in finance and with several years of experience in the field as well. Come interview time, they might already be at a disadvantage given what their background already is, and they might feel as though they're at an even bigger disadvantage if they have a numerical value associated to them as compared to some of their counterparts who might also be applying to these same positions. So now you might be asking, how do employers actually distinguish between people within the class or between people applying from schools with this policy versus schools who don't have this policy in place? Well, there's a variety of different measures that are actually a little bit more fair across the board to people who might not have a specific background in the specific field that they're looking to go into. So one example of this is actually the GMAT score. The GMAT is standard across all MBA programs and all schools, and regardless of what your background is in, the GMAT is going to be fairly similar, regardless of where in the world you took it, what your background is like, and that's just a good marker to determine where students fall relative to their class. Another great example is looking at extracurricular activities, involvement in some of the on-campus events, but also what specific awards the student might have won in their particular program, if they got any specific honors, or alternatively, if they were actually put on some type of academic probation. So there are ways for students to actually distinguish themselves from their peers, and a lot of these companies, particularly consulting companies, will make use of something called a case interview, which will help to get a great understanding of what the students' core competencies are already in and whether or not they can actually bring the practical skills that'll make them competitive for that specific position in the field. So long story short, grade non-disclosure is a great means for students to actually maximize their experience at the MBA level. The MBA is typically a terminal degree, meaning that many of the students are actually not going to pursue further education at the academic setting after their MBA. And given the fact that tuition at many of these programs are quite substantial, you want to make sure that students can actually get the most amount of value out of their program. And if they're looking to make a career switch, you want to make them as competitive as possible so that they're actually taking courses that they're very interested in and not ones that are actually going to tailor to the specific GPA that they feel like they might need. So that's going to be it for this video. I actually want to pose a question. What do you think of grade non-disclosure? Do you think it's something that should be applied to a variety of different professional schools? Do you actually agree with this, or do you think it's something that should be taken away? Do you also feel like students coming from a school with grade non-disclosure are at a disadvantage as compared to some of their counterparts in some other programs that might not have this policy in place? Also, if you come from a school with great non-disclosure, I'd love to hear what your experiences were like at the recruitment level, whether or not recruiters and potential employers saw it as a negative, or if they were completely okay with it, and whether or not you felt personally that you would have been in a better position had you been able to talk about your GPA and performance in this specific program. So that's going to be it for this video. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, we'll see you in the next one.